Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Best Ball Bros DFS edition. Welcome back to episode 12. How's everybody doing today, Aaron?
Hi, guys.
So, if you listened to last episode, that was our last Best Ball draft of the year, and so we are going to be transitioning into DFS. We built a few teams. We seem to be enjoying it.
Yes.
And we're going to tell you some guys that we like, and we're going to tell you about a couple teams we built.
And I'm sure you've already heard a little bit behind Matt talking. We have a special guest with us today. My son and my daughter are still awake. Well, my son is asleep. My daughter is wide awake. So she came down here to view a little bit and try her best to be a part of the episode. So
Typical diva.
yes. So she was excited. She wanted to be a part of things. So, and now she's playing with a basketball goal. So,
all right.
but we do have some notes. After some game planning, we thought DFS would probably be the best to keep this going throughout the year. At least throughout the season.
Yes.
Since we were so focused on best ball during the summer.
We had a lot of fun with Best Ball, and now, other than firing up the podcast and being like, so this is how our teams are doing, and then giving you the update on our rookie contests that the teams we drafted, and then also giving the updates of, hey, who's doing better, Kyle Pitts or Dalton Kincaid. That was pretty much would have been the end of every episode after news and notes. So we're going to go ahead and start the news and notes for this week. Let's get into some news and notes.
Well, let's touch base first with how we're going to plan things. So this episode, we're going to do kind of an opening weekend DFS, right?
Yes.
So I've already seen glimpses of your team, and my team, I played on the main slate, so the 12 o'clock window.
Okay.
With the season starting and the episodes going back to normal, or on the schedule that we have, we're going to be trying to do the Monday night DFSs for the most part, but with it being opening weekend, of course, we will try to get the main window.
Yes, agreed. So, after this week, we will be building Monday Night Football team because of just how editing works. Okay, we had to take a small break there.
Well, a long break, but all the kiddos are asleep. Hopefully Beaver stays at the table, and we can finally deep dive into some news. And we have quite a bit to cover as Beaver jumps on the table. We will be added into the show art.
I think he's feeling left out.
I think so. But for our first piece of news, Mr. Terry McLaurin, you got paid, sir, $3 million or 3-year, $96 million extension to go catch some Jaden Daniels.
I think we both agreed that this how this and really it just comes down to we were disappointed it didn't happen. Yeah. So congratulations, Scary Terry.
Yes. Also, quickly becoming one of my biggest regrets taking him in a league. Joe Mixon was placed on non-football injury list. He's going to miss the first 4 games for sure.
At least.
At least. They're saying he's still in a boot. We have no information. I will be shocked if he plays it.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's looking like it's probably going to be at least half.
Yeah. Luckily, I picked him up in a league where there's an IR spot, so I was able to throw him in there, but it just feels like a wasted pick right now.
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing. That's exactly why Nick Chubb started trending up boards, because of exactly that Joe Mixon injury. There were signs at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Also, I just realized I had my phone on the table, so if they're interfering on that.
I didn't see it, so I don't think it's going to be.
Hopefully. We'll cover this all in kind of one piece, because it was all by the Raiders. Raiders traded to acquire Kenny Pickett. Also signed Amari Cooper to a 1-year deal. And Jacoby Myers saw that and said, get me out of here.
I thought they signed Amari Cooper in response to the trade request.
It was like right at. So, but Jacoby Myers saw the 2 rookies getting all the work and said nothing. So Jacoby Myers requested a trade.
I don't think it comes, to be perfectly honest. He might sit on the bench for a few games, but when it comes down to it, the contract just tolls and you're stuck with the team one more year.
Yeah.
If he really wanted out, he should have done this much. Yeah. The big boy is down was that Bryant?
No, that's looks like a New Mexico offensive lineman down, holding his knee in a lot of pain.
Yeah, that looks bad.
That
looks real
bad. Oh, that's the worst part about football being back is the injuries. But as we record this, we have college football on. A beautiful Bryant Bulldogs versus New Mexico State with the score of 3-9 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. So, but football is back. Football is back. We are prepping for week 1, and man, I'm excited.
All right, so what's the next on the news?
Deontay Johnson got released by the Browns.
You called that.
Yeah.
Next.
So he's just a problem. Tajay Spears will miss at least the first 4 games he got placed. So that was an ankle sprain, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
That's pretty concerning if you are drafting this weekend, because this is the last weekend to be drafting for your redraft team. So
yeah, so keep that in mind. Tony Pollard bumped for the start of the season at least.
Yep.
This might be the most important news we have on the dock, mainly because it hurts a lot of our stock. Spencer Rattler was named the starter for the New Orleans Saints football team.
Confirmed going 0-7.
I hope not. What concerns me most is it's concerning on 2 different levels. One, this shows Tyler Shuck was not good enough or ready enough to win the starting job. But with that being said, Spencer Rattler was not good enough to win the starting job at the beginning of camp or even halfway through camp. They wait till the week before and say, you know what, he was just as good as the guy that couldn't win the job.
It's your pretty typical lose-lose situation.
So let's just hope they hyper-target Chris Olave. Let's hope that Alvin Kamara is not running on 3rd and 15. and hopefully we can get some fantasy production out of this team, but it is not looking great.
And we have to hope that Spencer Rattler is not throwing hospital balls for Chris Olave, or else a few of our teams are going to go in the tank real fast.
So I put that the Vikings turned into a laughingstock. You don't seem to feel that way.
No, because you're not taking into account. You are only concerned that they gave away 2 picks, a 5th this year and a 4th next year.
Okay.
But you're not taking into account that they got a 7th back this year and a 5th next year. So when you do all the equations, it basically comes out to they traded a 5th.
Okay, well,
and they desperately needed a wide receiver.
But they could have kept that 5th if they just kept Thielen.
They couldn't.
They let him walk 2 years ago.
They couldn't keep him. They were cash strapped because they were still paying for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and then he got sent to Carolina.
He signed with Carolina.
Got paid, and now you just traded for that contract. You're going to pay him again.
Yeah, but he took a reduced contract. He's only being paid $4 million.
I wouldn't pay him $6.
Getting paid $4.
No, $6.
Okay, now this is the thing. He had, in the last 2 years, he's had 1,600 yards receiving and 160 reception. What more do you want from a guy that's 35? He's older than you.
That's the problem. I want him to be 20.
Everybody wants him to be 26. Because
He's
back when he was 26, he had 4.4 speed.
Yes. O'Connell went and got a security blanket because the receivers are decimated with the Vikings.
Jalen Naylor out with the hand injury, sounding like he broke his hand. Addison out for the first 3 games. Everybody knows that. They needed somebody they could rely on for the first 3 games, and then for him to gracefully step into the wide receiver 3 position.
So I think what bothers me most about this is they signed him, Wednesday is when they got signed, if I'm correct?
The trade, let me check. Yeah, Wednesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday or Wednesday. This is after you had a plethora of receivers get cut from team. A couple of them were former Vikings.
One.
And you could have brought in talent without having to give it up.
But Adam Thielen has the proven track record that those guys didn't. They need a justifiable wide receiver too, which for 3 games he can be, and that's all they need.
I think that's the big thing. You only
run the tires off of him in the first 3 games, and then after those 3 games, hey, we only need you to come on the field for 10 times a game.
Right.
So
is that another offensive lineman down
or defense?
Oh man, he is. Let's hope these are cramped.
yeah, no kidding.
Coach is coming. That's not a cramp. He's a senior and left tackle.
Yikes!
God, that is back to.
You and I disagree on this trade for the Vikings. I don't think it's that bad.
I just think you didn't have to give up that.
So one of the Vikings I listened to, or one of the Vikings podcaster I listened to, Matthew Collar, he put it this way: when you are going to buy something, you have 2 options. You're shopping at the garage sale, or you are shopping at the store. At the garage sale, you can say, "I've got 2 quarters with your name on it," and they say, "No thanks," and then you're like, "Have fun storing that item that you don't want me to buy," and that's garage sale pricing. They were at the store. They have no incentive to give him up, especially considering we just found out Jalen Coker is going to the IR with the quad issue that he had in college. So
I didn't see that. When is that?
That was announced today. Jalen Coker went down. So they've got Xavier Leggett, they've got Tetro McMillan. They were counting
that is huge.
They were counting on Coker to step into the slot after they traded away Adam. They had no incentive to trade Adam Thielen at all.
Was that injury today?
That injury was today.
Holy cow.
So you had to pay up. You had to pay up to get Adam Thielen off of them because Adam Thielen was the number one wide receiver for the last 2 years.
I'm still stuck on that Coker. That's huge.
That sucks.
That's huge. That is terrible.
Yeah.
I hate when news breaks on Saturday because college football day.
All right. So anything else to add to this conversation?
I'm still mad about the Minnesota Miracle.
That was Stephon Diggs. That wasn't Adam Thielen.
Still hurt. And I thought about this while you were ranting. You all could have signed Justin Ross.
You know I have a deep, deep love for Justin Ross. However, Justin Ross does not have the system knowledge of the Vikings offense, and that was part of why they had to trade for Adam Thielen. They really didn't have any other choice. It was Adam Thielen or nothing.
Or future Hall of Famer Justin Ross.
Unfortunately, I believed that last year. Unfortunately, it really looks like that's not a thing.
Well, speaking of Kansas City receivers, Rashee Rice accepts a 6-game suspension.
He agreed.
He will be out.
The 10 game they floated, but apparently was the scare tactic to get him to agree to 6.
Yeah. So their bye week is. They have an early bye week, don't they?
I don't know. Maybe. Do we even care?
Well, I mean, it makes a difference. Because this is either he's back week 7 or back week 8, unless their bye week is late, or because it's 6 games.
Week 10.
Week 10. Okay, so he'll be back week 7. So
a lot of people are saying this is the silver lining to this cloud is that his knee should be fully healed up.
Yeah.
By the time he comes back.
Hard for best ball, but on a regularly keep in mind, come week 5, 6. Oh, Justin Ross is going to be coming back. You might be able to sneak because you can't put him in an IR spot to spend.
You just called him Justin.
Because maybe I like Justin Ross better. Rashee Rice. So, just keep that in mind. But we've had to talk. Get a driver next time, sir. Yeah. Jalen Wright, running back for the Miami Dolphins, had a procedure. He's going to be out a couple weeks.
Is not season ending, but will take some time to recover from.
That's from Coach McDaniel. And the biggest piece of news, and, we play a fun game that doesn't really constitute defensive players a whole lot. And we've said on a previous episode, Mr. Jerry Jones, if you would like to have us flown down to sing your praises in Jerry World, we're not above that. But until you do give us that opportunity, Mr. Jerry Jones, you just gave up one of, if not the best defensive player in the league for 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle?
Old tackle.
10-year vet D-tackle. So this just screams stupid.
So John Owning on Twitter tweeted out that Micah's value was that last year...
Micah Parsons, edge rusher for formerly the Dallas Cowboys, is now a Green Bay Packer.
Yes, but last year when he was on the field, they had the best defense per EPA per play.
Okay.
When he was off the field, they were second worst. That just reminds me of back when the stories of when the Tampa 2 was created.
Okay.
And they were doing 7-on-7s, and the coach or the quarterbacks were just lighting up that secondary. And the head coach was staring at the defensive coordinator like, hey there, guy. I'm not sure about this defense you got going on. And he's just like, don't worry, coach. We got this. And he's just like, it doesn't look like it. And then they put the defensive line on the field and everything clicked. And they're like, oh, that's how this defense works. So, that being said, Micah Parsons just changes the defense.
Yes.
And to kind of transition directly into DFS, I built a team essentially all around the Eagles playing the Cowboys week 1. Yes. Because there's going to be some points now.
Yeah, I think the season hasn't started yet, so we haven't got a couple weeks of data to back up our thoughts about facing defense. But pretty safe to say, 2 defenses that we're going to need to target this year to play against are going to be the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals.
They're in the same boat.
Yeah.
They're going to be running shootout.
Yeah. So, with that being said, maybe that means CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and
George Pickens
and Jaden Blue can can skyrocket because they're going to have to score 700 points a game to win.
But pretty much. You're going to be seeing Dak throwing for 600 yards a game.
You're going to have to. And it just screams, man, that pettiness doesn't even seem to be the word I'm looking for. Just a blatant yes, I understand, Mr. Jerry Jones, you're getting older, and the reality of getting older is upon you. You are in a win now. I need another Super Bowl before I finish my trips on this rock. This is not the way to do it.
Not at all.
So, yeah, I mean, it's take one step forward, take 100 steps back.
It makes absolutely no sense. You drafted him. He's becoming a superstar. You have to reward your superstars.
Yeah. And, okay, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say one of those 2 first-round picks you got turns out to be Micah Parsons. Mm-hmm. You already had Micah Parsons.
You already had him.
You didn't,
You're not finding another Micah Parsons. You're just not.
No. The only thing that possibly makes sense in the entire thing, and it still doesn't make sense. Let me reference. Somebody said that the Cowboys are acquiring picks to make a trade up to get Archman. You have Dak Prescott. And also, I don't know if you saw the Ohio State-Texas game today. They did not score a whole lot of points, and Arch Manning did not look good.
There was reports, anyways, that Arch Manning was not coming out this summer. They've already said he's not coming out this summer. He's coming out next.
Unless the Dallas Cowboys are sitting. I mean, all jokes aside, when you play for the Dallas Cowboys, it's more than just playing. You get all the sponsorship crap, all the advertisement crap. There's a reason that those players make a lot of money off the field, and having that giant star on the side of your helmet.
Counterpoint, and I'm just throwing this out there. Now, granted, the league has changed. However, this is the same family that the second brother was drafted by the San Diego Chargers, and dad stepped in and was just like, my son is not playing for the Chargers. Mm-hmm. And they traded him, draft day trade, to the Giants, and they got the pick that picked up Phillip Rivers. Yeah.
So, and he won 2 Super Bowls.
Yes, he did.
Oh.
Yeah. Now,
he wouldn't have won 2 Super Bowls with the Chargers.
Now, but I'm just saying, you look at what the Cowboys are doing right now, you think old dad isn't going to step in and just be like, my kid's not playing for Jerry Jones?
That would be granddad then.
Yes, but what about his actual dad with a little bit of football knowledge looking at it, and he's just like, hey, absolutely, he's not going to play for Jerry Jones.
Not to derail too far on this, but it's our podcast. We do what we want. There are a couple teams I can see in this draft window that he would go to. It's going to be the Saints, it would be the Colts, or it would be the Cowboys. Those are, I think, the 3 teams that he would leave. Let's just call it how it is. Jacksonville falls apart here because Trevor Lawrence isn't what we need Trevor Lawrence to be. If Jacksonville has the first pick, or if Cleveland, God forbid, gets the first pick, then he stays.
They'll need a clown car to get all of their quarterbacks to the field.
Yeah, if the Raiders or the Giants get the first pick, I think he stays. And even the Giants is a little tricky because Eli played. So it's, your thing is with the Colts, with the Saints, with the Giants, you're bringing another Manning who we already love the Mannings on those teams.
Yeah.
They're royalty on those teams. You're bringing royalty back into them.
And I don't think the Cowboys are one of those.
No, but
I think if Cowboys were number 1, which I don't think the Cowboys are going to be bad enough to be number 1, or if they traded up to number 1, I just don't think that. I think he'd stay in for one more year, especially if he keeps looking like this.
Yeah. All right.
That being said, it's a long season.
Yes.
It's just one game.
So were there any names you saw on cut day that piqued your interest? Was there anything? Let's just open up. Was there anything this week that you saw before we get into the actual routine of week 1 this coming up week that you'd like to discuss, that you saw? Anything that's kind of got you worried or interested?
No, not really.
No, it's fair. It's fine. Scared.
Yeah, I can understand why you're scared.
Scared. All of my teams, I went receiver heavy. I have no running back. I think personally, Bijan Robinson news has me stressed because we took him everywhere, and now he is a very solid running back too. Not Bijan Robinson, Brian Robinson.
Yes, there we go.
There we go. Brian Robinson Jr., one of the Robinsons. Now he's in San Fran. That ruined a lot of plans. So I'm interested to see how that worked. I just touched on it a minute ago. I'm really interested to see if Trevor Lawrence is going to be the guy this year.
Lawrence and Justin Herbert are kind of in the position where they have to prove it. This is their prove it year, because if they don't, they're going to be just another.
You can't move on from Herbert.
You can't move on from Lawrence either, really. But they're basically looking like just stronger arm Kirk Cousins, which they'll get you some wins, but they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. That's how you end up with a 4th and 8 throwing to a wide receiver short of the sticks that's flat-footed. It's just with Justin Herbert, the ball's going to get there much, much faster.
I want this known right now on the podcast. If Bo Nick does what I think Bo Nix is going to do this year, I'm not wearing pants on his pantless party every day, all day.
What do you think he's going to do?
He's going to have an MVP season, and the Denver Broncos are going to.
Are you high right now?
Maybe.
If the Broncos win the Super Bowl, it's going to be on the back of that defense. It's not going to be on the back of anything Bo Nix does.
Bo Nix is the quarterback.
Yeah.
They've got to score. This is not the Trent Dilfer years of Baltimore.
It may as well be.
No, it is not. No,
it may as well be.
Bo Nix MVP, Denver Broncos wins the Bowl.
Don't worry, listeners. I'm going to go get him drug tested. We might have to pause for this.
All right. So, pull up your DFS team, sir.
Okay, so it's been a long time since I played DFS.
It's been a while.
And what I was doing last time is I built multiple rosters and basically broke even with those multiple rosters. And then I just started playing the same roster. I found a roster I really, really liked, and I played it across multiple contests, and it worked for me 2 weeks in a row, and then it wiped out my bankroll. Now, that being said, this year, at least for week 1, I've built a whole bunch of different teams, and I like them all.
Okay.
They're all really fun.
So do you have a favorite you want to talk about? Or do you...
Okay.
Or do you want to talk about a couple? I'm just a one roster a week kind of guy.
Okay.
So
I was just having fun with it because I'll throw out the team that I just built, and I called it our all-star team. The team that we kind of just kept trying to draft, and it was J.K. Dobbins.
Okay.
You can get him for $5,500.
Yes. They play Tennessee.
Tank Bigsby. You can get him for $4,600. And now the salary cap on these things is $50,000. And then you can get Emeka Egbuka for $4,600. You can get Ricky Pearsall for $4,500. And then tack it on there, get Brenton Strange, because that's a guy we were targeting a lot. He's only $3,300.
Yeah.
And according to DraftKings rankings, Carolina's defense against tight ends was really bad last year, and I don't know if they've improved that. So that being said, with all of these cheap options that I put on there, I was then able to throw Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Christian McCaffrey on this roster with leftover salary. And then I just decided to pick the Patriots defense because they're playing the Raiders.
Okay.
That team I had a lot of fun with, but I was just having fun highlighting some guys we really like that we think are extremely cheap for less than $5,000. And Pearsall and Egbuka, I think they're going to have monster weeks.
So the only thing that scares me about Egbuka is he is a rookie. This is week 1. So
Yes.
There is a little bit of getting used to game speed. I know he played a little bit in the preseason, but preseason speed and game speed. So I worry about playing him week 1. He was in one of my lineups, and then I tweaked it.
Okay.
Is there another one you want to highlight that you like?
Let's see. So I built my team, the team that I was kind of going for a lot, which was Penix for $5,600.
Okay.
McCaffrey for $7,300. Kamara for $6,300. Drake London with the stack for $6,500. Emeka Egbuka for $4,600. Pearsall for $4,500 again. Kyle Pitts for $4,300 because why not? And then I know I heard that sigh. I'm sure the listeners heard it too. And then Malik Neighbors
I hope they felt it.
Then Malik Neighbors for $7,000 because going cheap on a lot of those positions that you just heard, again, you can pay up for an elite option like Malik.
Okay. I don't hate it. So
You let me in on your strategy that you built, and I really like it, and I was actually really disappointed you cued me in on it before. So please tell me your big brain move you did.
So in DFS, yes, it's great to have your studs, but it is also a game of playing matchups. That's the fun part about DFS.
Yes.
And we touched on it earlier. You target bad defense.
Very much.
So at $4,900, I was able to afford Mr. Joe Flacco going against the Cincinnati Bengals. I paired Njoku with him because he loves to throw to the tight end.
He's a slightly more expensive tight end. I think he's the fifth most expensive.
$4,700 for the tight end spot.
But that's not bad.
No, and you get the stack with Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
The running back, I also went J.K. Dobbins. He's going up against Tennessee. He's only 5,500. Now, I know I just said this about Ibuka, but I went with rookie Travion Henderson for 5,500. That's cheap for a running back.
Very much.
Then I went with the big dog, Jamar Chase, 8,100. This is where I had Ibuka. I swapped it to Chris Olave at 5,100 because why not? Let's try it. Ricky Pearsall at 4,500. Look, he's receiver one.
He's gonna get targeted.
Yeah, 4,500. That price just seems crazy to me.
Steal.
And I paired him with McCaffrey at 7,300. 7,300 feels like a free square. I feel like everybody should have McCaffrey 7,300.
Oh yeah.
This might be the only time this season he's below 8.
So you told me about your
and then I went with the Denver Broncos.
Okay. You told me about this strategy.
Going up against I'm sorry to interrupt you yet again, but I don't. That is the Denver Broncos going up against rookie Cam Ward in his very first game. So give me the third ranked best defense in the league going up against the rookie on his first start. Yeah, I'll take those.
Okay. So you told me about this strategy, and I decided to build my old lineup with this. And so I also went with Flacco, 4,900. And I decided to really lean into this game in particular. And so I picked up Chase Brown, too, for 6,600. I picked up Jerry Jeudy for 4,500. Jamar Chase for 8,100. And Njoku for 4,700. Then in the other slots, I picked up Christian McCaffrey, just like you, 7,300.
I feel like he has to ride.
And then this is one where I put Adam Thielen in there because he is slotted at 4,700. And I think he's going to get a lot of targets in the first 3 weeks. I think they're going to just run the wheels off of him in the first 3 weeks.
Maybe, I don't, well, he does know the system.
He knows the system. For the last 2 years,
I'd be worried about week
practiced.
1. Week 2, I'd sign him, but week 1 kind of has me because he got to camp late and all that.
The last 2 summers, he has been catching passes from McCarthy because McCarthy came to Minnesota. Adam Thielen is the Minnesota native, so they hooked up and they were practicing together just because. So I just thought it was for 4,600. It's super cheap, and I think it's high upside, very high upside.
And you did what is a common strategy for especially these big tournaments on DFS. Of you pick a game that you think nobody can play defense on, one of the higher over-under games, and then you play a scenario. You say Cincinnati's going to score 42 points. And how do they get those 42 points? Well, Jamar Chase is going to catch a couple touchdowns, and then they're going to be up, so they're going to run the ball a lot with Chase Brown. So that's a good strategy to have. I'm very bad at picking those scenarios. So I tend to do just a small stack with an offense I hope is going to explode.
I also built a lineup centered around the Eagles and the Dallas game.
Okay, so this one included the Thursday night.
Yes, this one included the Thursday night games. It was the Thursday through Sunday one.
Okay.
And so I was able to I grabbed Jalen Hurts because he's one of the most expensive quarterbacks. And part of that was because I originally put A.J. Brown on this roster. Okay. And then I took him off because the A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, they kind of alternate between who goes off. Yeah. And so if you pick the wrong one, you're kind of SOL on that. So I think just pick Jalen Hurts. And then I picked up CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. And so then I picked up Kyron at 6,500, Kamara at 6,300. Xavier Legette, again, Jalen Coker's out. They don't have Adam Thielen anymore.
Huge.
And he's priced at 4,200. And then I have
Legette is?
Yes. Legette's at 4,200. Okay. And so it's either Tedero McMillan or it's going to be Xavier Legette catching pass. Maybe they re-sign Hunter Renfrow, but it sounds like he's saying he doesn't want to come back because they let him go.
He looked damn good in camp. Those camp videos, him just cooking those DBs. I'm surprised they didn't keep Carolina. That is.
Apparently the trade came through after rosters had to be finalized. So had they hurried up and gotten it done, they would have been able to keep him. But instead, they decided that they needed to cut him to make space. Well, I'm surprised.
With Coker going out too, you'd love to have Renfrow.
He might. He'll probably be back. I think he'll be back.
Well, I need to figure out something because we're less than a week away from football, buddy.
So, is there anything else you want to add? I just thought it would be fun to throw out some guys we're highlighting with, again, Pearsall, stupid cheap, 4,500. Igbuka, stupid cheap, 4,500.
Tank was 46.
J.K. Dobbins was 5,000.
Joe Flacco, 4,900.
And again, going against the Bengals.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco may be old, but that defense is not good. Granted, they re-signed Travion Henderson, but who knows if that's going to mean anything.
Trey Hendrickson.
Yes, my bad.
Yeah.
They re-signed. They signed Trey Hendrickson. Yes.
My brain was like, wait,
The running back.
were they not going to sign him?
Yeah.
He looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh,
They re-signed Trey Hendrickson. My bad.
no, I'm just excited.
Me too, obviously, because I built like 6 lineups.
Yes.
I was having so much fun just tweaking things here, tweaking guys I like. I threw rosters together, and
That's what makes it fun, man.
I'm in.
We get to spend all summer calling shot. That's essentially what best ball is. I'm
Yeah.
calling shot.
Assuming he fell to you.
Yes. And then now, during the season, we can be like, okay, well, all my shots suck. So now I get to pick the players that are actually good and use them. So it's fun. It's fun. A little abbreviated episode today, guys, but it's we got into a pretty good routine of off season. Now we need to figure out a good routine for in season. Week 1 is starting up. So
We're kind of assuming that going forward, all episodes are probably going to be shorter.
Yes.
Part of it is because we don't have to wait for drafts anymore.
Yeah, we
so
don't.
now we're just going to be talking about guys we are targeting in DFS this week.
Yep, we get to hit a little bit of news. We kind of touched on it earlier. Probably going to be playing the Monday night window a lot.
Yes.
Just for timing and everything.
Yeah.
Matt works really hard making sure I sound decent on these episodes. So
But-
I don't want to rush him on the time frame at all.
And also, we normally record Saturday nights. Some lifting the curtain, giving you guys a little bit of a peek backstage. We typically record Saturday night,
Yes.
and turning it around and releasing it in time for Sunday for anybody to listen, practically impossible. So I can edit these things out, put them out for you to listen on Mondays, all day Monday, and then maybe follow our strategies, or maybe just tell us why we're really bad at this.
Yeah, probably laugh at us a bunch because we say it with such conviction and then it's wrong all the time.
But I'm excited, and I think it's fun.
I am too. And anybody that was looking for an update, New Mexico State did score another field goal. It is 12-3 with 6:27 left for it. And I'm just glad football's. So no thick sixes yet. But thanks for listening in, guys. And I hope to see you next week. We love you. Good night.
Good night.